Hello and welcome to the TTI Distribution Download, the podcast where we talk about all things happening in the world of electronic components with the specialists of TTI. And now, your host for the TTI Distribution Download, Paula Renfrow.
Thanks, Jim. Hey, everybody. Thank you for plugging in to the TTI Distribution Download. Today, we're kicking off a three-part series on energy storage with our good friends and partners from TE Connectivity. Joining me in the booth, I'm very pleased today to have TTI Director of Supplier Marketing, Scott Stemley, and TE Connectivity Regional Product Manager, Jason Roe. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Scott, I'm going to ask you to kick us off today. Tell us a little bit about your career in the industry.
Sure. Been with TTI now for over 30 years. Have had a branch stint in several roles here at corporate. And the most recent stint has been managing the relationship between TTI and TE.
Jason, how about you? Tell us about your career journey and the work you do at TE.
Sure. So I'm a regional product manager for TE Connectivity, and I represent many of the board level interconnect from the industrial product group. I spent the last 24 years working in the interconnect industry, dealing with anything from low-speed backplane connector solutions to high data rate networking products to automotive-grade interconnects, and now most recently in the power connectivity for energy storage systems. And prior to becoming a product manager, I spent the vast majority of my career in the technology side of things, working directly with customers as an interface between our factory and the conductor customers to find the right solutions to their application challenges. And now as the product manager, I've become really more involved with identifying the market trends and future needs of our customers and starting to establish the roadmaps of products that will help to fulfill those challenges.
Oh, great. I already knew you were going to teach us something today, but I'm looking forward to that. Battery and energy storage is one of my favorite topics, believe it or not. So in this episode of Battery Energy Storage Systems, we're going to talk about enhanced power distribution and management. So Jason, from your perspective, as you were saying, you've learned a lot, and in the perspective of a design engineer, what are the primary areas of consideration in these applications?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things to consider when those designers are creating those efficient and energy sustainable solutions, meeting their current and their future energy demands. But some of the key concepts that come to my mind are like how does the system integrate into what already exists within their grid infrastructure. The other energy management systems that they're being connected to. How scalable is the solution? So designing for future expansion in mind. Whether that's additional storage capacity or integration with evolving technologies that may be coming out there. What type of control systems are they going to be interfacing with? There's a lot of new advanced control algorithms for real-time monitoring of the management of the energy flow, load balancing, demand response capabilities, and all that kind of smart functionality that is evolving in the industry. Then other things like safety. These battery energy storage systems. What sort of risk of fires, or what controls and monitoring systems and solutions that you need to implement in those designs. Other risks for the users that may be directly interfacing with these devices. From a high voltage perspective, making sure they're safe and reliable for the users to operate. Cybersecurity, that's the other big one that's in the industry right now. It's about these are critical parts of our national power grid, and how do we make them safer and secure for our interests, and protecting those valuable resources. And lastly, how cost effective can you make them, right? So balancing that performance, reliability, and the operational costs that are providing that economic value for the total solution.
So Jason, you mentioned the national grid. So talking about power delivery, how do power connectors and distribution technologies impact that delivery?
The power connectors and the distribution technologies are really like those fundamental elements that impact the efficiency, the reliability, and the safety of those power delivery systems. So really need to do careful selection and design of the products to optimize the performance and the energy storage and distribution applications. So things like the current capacity. So connectors really have to be designed to handle the expected current loads without overheating, choosing the right connector type and gauges of wires, and those sort of features help facilitate safe and reliable power delivery, especially in those high demand applications. Voltage stability, so maintaining stable voltage levels across the system. Variations in voltage can lead to equipment malfunctions or failures, making the choice of a robust connection really essential. And then it comes back to safety as well. So properly designed connectors can reduce the risk of short circuits and electrical arcing, enhancing the overall safety of the system. Other features like locking mechanisms and enhanced insulation materials can help prevent against other sort of failures. And then lastly, like the impact on the overall system design. Can we make a selection of the connector products easier for the installation? Can they make them faster and easier for the end operator to connect the devices together? How the overall connector selection affects the space, the layout, the cooling requirements of the systems. All these things are kind of trade-offs and points that designers need to have in their mind as they're developing their solutions.
If an engineer is looking to optimize energy flow and reduce losses, are there connector designs or innovations in the field that can improve overall system performance?
Yes. So there's advances in the connector technology. So engineers can significantly enhance the performance of the energy storage systems, ultimately leading to reduced energy losses and then overall improved system reliability. There is a trend towards these larger energy storage systems with higher voltages and higher currents. That requires really better connector selection and more connector enhancements. And these energy storage systems are being used in really a wide range of temperatures, from in the deserts to in the mountains, right? To cold temperatures and temperature extremes. So features like low resistance connections, right? So having higher conductivity materials, the choice of the plating, can significantly reduce the resistance features within the connector, and designs that minimize those contact resistance and improve conductivity. It really enhance the overall efficiency of the systems. Other things like optimized geometry and other materials. So optimizing the shape of the connector to provide airflow, or reducing air gaps to improve the creepage and clearance distances for higher voltage applications. You're really just kind of optimizing the connector design and development to help minimize those losses and enhance the electrical performance. And then, one of the last areas that really is becoming more and more prevalent is, having sealed and weatherproof designs. So connectors that are really designed to work in dusty and moisture rich environments. These harsh environments can be very corrosive and cause connection failures in the field. So any of these sort of solutions that use IP67 or connectors that are designed to be sealed or weatherproof can really be very important in these sort of dust and moisture rich environments that create those corrosive or connection failures that can lead to losses.
So, Jason, you mentioned working with customers, design engineers, I'm sure, in this same area. And of course, technology is science, and I think about, though, design is art. And you've mentioned a lot of things to think about, right? And so the engineer knows his requirements. In your experience, without naming names, of course, is there a particular gotcha that is just so easily overlooked that you've seen over and over again in this type of design?
Typically, connectors are not the first thing that people think about in their design. So it's usually the gotcha moment at the end of the line where they say, I need something to fit in this space. What fits. And so it's
That does 17 different things,
yes,
and this is how big it needs to be. This is, like you said, the wire gauge. This is the power.
right. And maybe you've tied yourself into a corner because you didn't think about the connector solutions early enough in the design, and you're now left with only a few options when you may have had more options at the beginning. So connectors aren't the sexiest things in the world, but the opportunity to think about them sooner in the design process can maybe help eliminate some of the stress later in your design.
You've probably had these calls from the field too, haven't you, Scott?
Yeah, one or two. So now that we know that we need to move connectors up in the design phase, are there particular products or technologies from TE that engineers should be looking at when they need to look to improve that performance?
Yeah, so we have a number of innovative and new products in this space that I think I kind of split them into two different type of product offerings. Some of them that are inside the box, so inside of these sealed solutions where you need board-to-board and wire-to-board connector solutions. Like our MaxiBridge product line, where you need a small form factor wire-to-board solution with very robust current carrying capacity and some poka-yoke features like mechanical and color coding to help eliminate operator errors of plugging the wrong connector in the wrong location. Other products like our MicroBridge Flex Foil. So particularly if you're doing actually battery cell-to-cell connections or inside of the battery array, these connectors are really great for reducing the overall size, complexity, and cost of the battery system. And then higher power solutions like our power elements for PCB level power terminals that allow you to bring high current connections directly to the printed circuit board, nice electrical and mechanical tie points for bus bars and those type of things. And then if we go outside of the box and more of the system level type of applications, products like our Voltron and HV10. So these are really high voltage, what we call high voltage 1,000 volt sensing connector applications in a very small form factor packaging. So these will become critical as you start wanting to monitor and check on the health and safety of your systems. Then things like our HPC 350, which are those high power connections for 350 amp or 1500 volt sort of applications with some integrated cool features like intelligent safety monitoring sensors, temperature sensors inside of the connector systems. And then lastly, the Dynamic series, which is really a scalable power connector system with built-in robustness and reliability with a wide range of pitches and features. So I know there's a lot of products there. So going on to te.com and typing in those product names, you'll get a slew of information to help you out.
You mentioned earlier, and of course, cost, right? I mean, you meet all the requirements and then you start working it down, right? But as a previous component buyer, I also know availability is so critical. So let me turn to you, Scott, and tell me, how's your inventory on these products?
Inventory is robust. Of course, like any application or any design, there could be unique requirements. So, the best thing to do would be to reach out to your TTI specialist. They can engage with their local TE subject matter experts or bring Jason into the conversation. Mm-hmm. And, if it comes down to a specific part or something special for that application, we can certainly support it. But from an overall perspective, yes, we've got quite a bit of TE inventory in our distribution center, and look forward to being able to help customers solve these solutions.
Okay, and I'm going to ask another one, not to oversimplify, but that was a lot of product categories. Is there or product actually lines? Are there a couple of those? Maybe we can just help the new engineer. Can we move him forward a couple of spaces? Move her forward a couple of spaces. Are there a couple of those product lines that are the most popular?
Jason, I'll defer to you as far as popularity on the product lines themselves.
Sure. Yeah.
Like where should they start?
Yeah. So again, it starts with what type of application are they working on?
Right.
So if they're looking for wire to board inside of the box, the MaxiBridge is a really great opportunity for them to get into a product line with traditional crimp contact designed in a very nice, robust packaging, 100,000 center line. So it's big enough to feel in your hand, but small enough that it's compact on the board space, and it has a lot of those nice features for poka-yoke and automotive grade type of technology that helps to improve the ruggedness and the reliability of the product. So that's a great product for the inside the system applications, and then the Dynamic series for just general purpose.
These are good wide range product families,
and very well maintained by TTI and inventories.
Yeah, good. So how about the most advanced? Let's call it like the sexiest product line.
Okay, so I would say what I mentioned about the HPC 350 series of connections, so wire to panel sort of connection solutions. These are high power, 350 amp, 1500 volt solutions that have integrated temperature sensing sensors inside of them. So for advanced monitoring of those battery health and safety.
Cool. So Scott, does TTI do sexy?
We do. We have quite a bit of sexy in the back.
That's good to hear. We have quite a bit of sexy in the back. I'm going to remember that one. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for sharing your insights and your time with us today, Jason. And Scott, that was fun. Did you learn something today?
I did.
I did too.
No idea that was that.
And thank you to our listeners today for plugging in. If you learned something today, you'll want to press play on episode 2 of this series on battery energy storage systems. In episode 2, Scott and I will be talking with TE Connectivity's Gomor Charlton. Gomor is an EMC engineer. He'll be sharing his insights on improving your system quality with EMI filters. Until next time, I'm Paula Renfrow, and this is the TTI Distribution Download.
That's it for this episode of the TTI Distribution Download. For more information on any of the topics you heard about today, reach out to your nearby TTI branch at 1-800-CALL-TTI or visit us online at tti.com.